The, we think of the spines on a cactus as having evolved from leaves, and so people will call them modified leaves, but they really don't have anything in common with leaves anymore except where they're produced on the plant. They're produced by the same things the same parts of the plant that do produce leaves on regular plants. But whereas a regular leaf, a typical leaf, is soft and flexible and edible, we eat them as salads, is broad and thin, can carry out photosynthesis, and loses a lot of water because it is so big and has so much surface area. In contrast to all of that, then spines are needle-shaped, they're narrow, they're tough, they're hard, they don't have any green photosynthetic tissue, they're not edible, you wouldn't put them in a salad. So they have the same evolutionary origin, but at present they have virtually nothing in common. They don't function, they don't have a similar function, they don't have a similar structure. Well, desert environments are kind of unusual environments when you think about it. In most, if you think of a typical moist environment, say in the northern states like Wisconsin or New York or Seattle, most of the water in that habitat is either falling as rain or dew, or it's in streams or ponds or lakes, flowing underground as springs that come up as springs. So you have water throughout the environment, and of course then the plants and the leaves are wet. In a desert environment is a very strange thing because the ground is usually pretty dry, too dry for an animal to get water out of it, and the air is dry. And so the water and there aren't any lakes unless it's just rained, there aren't any streams unless it's just rained. So the only water that occurs in most desert habitats are these tanks of water that we call cacti or succulents or yuccas or agaves or things like that. Most of the water that an animal could get at is above ground in plant bodies. So animals need water and animals will get thirsty, so their plants have got to have some mechanism to protect that water that they have inside of themselves. Cacti use spines. They make the spines so sharp and so dangerous that most animals can't eat through them. Other plants use poisons, like in the euphorbia family, and that look like cacti but occur in Africa. They have very few spines, but they're extremely poisonous. So a plant in a desert will always need some mechanism to protect its water.